Heyo.
Yo, what's up, brother?
There it is. What's good? What's good?
Chilling.
What's
How you doing?
happening? What's happening? Hey, I'm doing well. I am doing well.
Doing well. Doing good. Doing well. I'm glad to hear it, brother.
Doing pretty good. Always fun, this little pre-show wait as we wait for the people.
As we wait for the people. Mellow Monday.
To file in. Mellow Monday, our second Mellow Monday.
We're chasing Shep. We officially, I was right. Have a GIF moving up there. Check the smoke. Peep the smoke out there.
Peep the smoke.
Peep the smoke coming off our name because we are coming in hot.
Mellow Monday 2 for some housekeeping for those that usually tune in, and we're Mental Health Monday. Still the same vibe. What is it? Same vibe. Same. What did you say? New Monday name.
New Monday name. Same Monday vibe. There you go.
There you go. I don't know why I was struggling with that so much. But yes.
It's different. I even be saying stuff to people about it, like, "Hey, Mental Health Monday this month." Oh wait, I'm like, no.
Right. Yeah. Nope. Mellow Monday.
Mellow Monday.
Hit them with the name change. Mellow out. Have conversations. We're still here to get the mind right every Monday, but just chilling, just talking about stuff. We'll still have our guests and whatnot. You know, same vibe. Same vibe. So yeah, today we're talking superheroes.
Oh,
all sorts of superhero stuff.
All sorts of superhero stuff. Yeah. There's been a lot that we haven't talked on in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I feel like we can go more in on because they've been out, maybe on DVD. So it's like,
true.
Okay, you've
had
all your chance.
Shit that we did before the show, the one thing we didn't do is make like a spoilers overlay.
True.
Next time, you know, only getting better.
For next time.
You want to swing into these topics?
Oh, I like what you did there.
Ooh,
yeah. I mean,
where
do we even start? Yeah, I couldn't even tell you the last thing.
Well, I know where we last left off. We had reviewed What If and Shang-Chi. These are the last parts of the MCU that we talked about on the show.
So what we've had Hawkeye.
A lot. We've had
Hawkeye
a lot. We've had Eternals, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, and now Miss Marvel.
So Eternals was just all right. I feel like we don't really need to spend too much time on that.
No,
because
we really don't.
It was just all right. It was nothing.
My thing is, I even tried watching it. You know, we went to Memphis a couple of weeks ago, and we had a very long train ride. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll watch a movie, and I watched maybe 30 minutes of it. And to date, this is that like every Marvel thing, even the shows, I've seen at least like a minimum of 4 to 6 times. You know, Eternals I have watched one time only. It was in theaters when we saw it the first time.
Yeah,
and it's just it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, it's one that I don't really care about watching again.
No.
It was good. It was good for what it was.
To you know, if I'm ever like right now, Belle and I are watching the Marvel movies. When we get there, I'll watch it again. But
right,
I think she'll agree. We'll be like, we don't have to rewatch this whole one so much.
No, it's like I said, if it came out way earlier, it would have been like, oh damn, this is really dope.
Yeah.
But where it's at now, it's like maybe we'll touch base on it again, but probably not.
It had a lot of the same problems for me that I had with Moon Knight. We'll get to that when we get to Moon Knight. but it's just confusing, man. Like there was a lot of things in the story and everything, because I love the director, I love the cast, um, but the story, like there were just moments that would happen in this movie that I'm like, what? That doesn't even make any fucking sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like to the point where like I felt like my intelligence was being insulted sometimes. I'm just like, yo, that's what is this shit?
The
You
end
know?
of the movie really didn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's a lot. I think if you're like an Eternals fan, you probably recognize a little bit more. But yeah, so that one, you're gonna get that though now that like we've gone from having like a max of like 3 movies a year to like getting like 10 fucking things in a year now between movies and TV. Like your quality is gonna fluctuate for
well, even
sure.
the back half of this year alone, Marvel, there's a shit ton.
Oh, there's a bunch of stuff. Like
Yeah,
we're almost on a monthly basis with Marvel at this point.
pretty much,
Because
pretty much.
what
Yeah.
we went March and April was Moon Knight. Into May when we got Multiverse of Madness, and then June we got Miss Marvel all the way into July, which
Thor.
we're gonna get Thor, and then August we get She Hulk and I Am Groot,
Yeah.
and then I think October we're supposed to be getting a Halloween special, and we still have a Secret Invasion on its way, and Wakanda
Still got
Forever,
yeah. So you got that. You got
and then
the
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 Guardians,
Guardians. Yeah.
yeah, holiday special. So yes, a lot of shit left to come out this year. But yeah, Eternals just wasn't for me. That one was just a little messy for me.
Wasn't my shtick either, bud.
Um,
But the next one, Spider-Man.
oh shit, that was one we didn't name. Yes, Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yes,
Spider-Man was next, and that one, boom, amazing.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, what's left to say about that movie? That's almost it's the same thing as Eternals, but for the opposite reasons. It's just like it was fantastic. It was definitely uh, one of the best that they put out in a long time.
No, I think
Um,
so. I think Spider-Man got his redemption there, back
mhm.
into the limelight.
Yeah,
Like, okay, he's baller.
it
I'm,
made
I'm
it
with
made. I agree because like I like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but I don't love Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies.
it.
You
Right.
know, like they just aren't the Spider-Man adventures I'm looking for. But this last one was definitely my favorite because I feel like we watched him become like full-blown Spider-Man now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Now it made me like I'm always going to go see Spider-Man, but like it made me excited for the future of Tom Holland Spider-Man,
For the future of Spider-Man.
for the future of Spider-Man. I'm hyped.
No, yeah,
Um,
I really enjoyed it. I love all their callbacks they did with the originals. If you ain't seen it now, where you at? They're about to re-release it or some shit. I think I
yeah,
heard.
yeah, they're re-releasing an extended cut in theaters in September, which I'm pretty
Yeah.
hyped on.
I'm
So
not. I mean, it's like I'm kind of upset that I bought the DVD Blu-ray when it came
right,
out, and then you want to be like, oh wait, here's another one with deleted scenes that we didn't
yeah,
put on that. That's cheap, Sony. That's cheap.
that's some Sony shit though, isn't it?
It's fucking cheap, bud. but
On the Sony side of things, I told you I'm excited to watch Morbius tomorrow. See what all the anti-hype is about.
I could care less about Mobius or whatever,
Whoever he is.
Mobin time or whatever Morbin time they're saying. Nah, I mean, what's that going to be on something tomorrow?
Yeah, it drops on DVD and shit tomorrow. So I was just gonna
Oh,
rent it from the Redbox,
yeah,
get it on the
yeah.
cheap. I wasn't about to pay $20 for it on Vudu, that's for sure. I was like,
Oh,
fuck no. I was like, I couldn't even be bothered to go to the theater for $5 to see this movie. You think I'm gonna spend $20 to rent it? Fuck that.
not for me, sir. Not for me. I guess
No,
that
but
would have been the next movie that came out. or,
yeah, technically.
well, no, that one came out on April 1st. It was supposed to come out in January.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then around the same time as Spider-Man was Hawkeye, which I
Hawkeye
thought
was
was another good one.
Hawkeye was really good. It was a very all around family driven Marvel
Yeah.
series. Very holiday type theme that you could have
Mhm.
watched with your family because it was was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was
Return of
dope.
Wilson Fisk.
Yeah, that's I mean that's what
That
really
was,
did it for me.
yeah,
Because I was just saying before reading White Tiger, I mean it's in that little just stretch of uh, comic characters that I love, like the Defenders. I mean, all those street level people are my favorite.
well, you kind of there at the same time had those that universe both jumped over into the MCU with Daredevil being
Hmm.
in Spiderman and
Yeah,
Fisk being in Hawkeye.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So
So
that was a pretty big moment for everybody that's been loyal and has been watching since the beginning.
right. Yeah. Even watching those little breadcrumbs of things, it makes me excited to see what else they might like bring in the future. Because one that was
Yeah,
very underrated, I feel like that a lot of people didn't check out, which like I don't blame you. It was on Freeform, so you kind of write things off as like, oh, some teeny bopper kind of show. But Cloak and Dagger,
yeah,
I mean, I love those characters. I mean, I wish they would do them a little differently, but I like what they did in the show. And I recently found out that Cloak and Dagger is like connected to those Netflix shows. I'm like, oh, so the Netflix shows and Cloak and Dagger and Runaways are all connected. I'm like, I fuck with that. I like that.
yeah,
And they're all allegedly in the MCU. So whether it's our main universe or not, it'd be cool to see a lot of those characters come into the fold.
yeah. That'd be pretty cool. That would be dope. I don't
But
know,
yeah,
man.
Hawkeye, we saw more of the young Avengers start to form with the introduction of Kate Bishop.
Kate
Um,
Bishop,
they
Yelena.
had great chemistry. Yeah, Elena, I loved having her back. And then just the whole Christmas vibe too. You
The
know,
Christmas vibe was good at the time. It slapped really good because it was
yeah,
around Christmas and it really helped you get into the holiday spirit.
right. I mean, I'm not upset at Marvel for making seasonal stuff. Like, I'm a Marvel year-round kind of guy anyway. So, like, if they're just going to give me things to watch per holiday, I'm good with that, man. If they want to drop a Halloween special and another holiday special, I'm like, kids, gather around. We're going to watch the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special and Hawkeye and celebrate with good tidings.
I mean,
I'm
in
fine
there,
with that.
yeah, and it's there. That'd be the move to make this holiday season. Add it to the
Add
add
it
it
to
to
the
the
queue.
list. Add it
Add
to
it
the
to the queue.
queue. And then shit, what came up after that? Would it have been
Moon
Moon Knight?
Knight.
Moon
Moon
Knight.
Knight was next.
You wanted to talk about Moon Knight a little bit ago,
Moon
like
Knight.
10 minutes ago.
Basically same shit as Eternals. I mean, the story was whack. It was. I just felt like it. I don't mind a confusing story. I don't mind something that's a little slow paced, as long as it's going somewhere. As long as it's all going to be explained at the end or something. I don't even mind leaving it off on like a little cliffhanger note and not explaining everything. But you can't just explain nothing. Like, and that's how Moon Knight felt. Like Moon Knight just felt like, the fuck is going on? Like I think the show's really well made. I think the acting is some of the best in the entire Marvel universe. But that story, man,
No, I
is whack.
completely, I completely agree. I think it'll be
Should have
interesting
been a
to
movie.
see. It'd be interesting to see if it pays off at any point down the line,
Yeah.
or if it's just fucks off on its own there and was
Mhm.
like, well, that was totally then pointless.
And it's funny because with Eternals, I feel like Eternals was a movie that should have been a show, and Moon Knight was a show that should have been a movie.
Yeah,
So, you know,
I feel
but
that. I feel that they probably should have swapped those two around. Yeah,
definitely, definitely. I'm already feeling that way about Miss Marvel as well. I was like, I feel like this should just be. I was kind of low key jealous of people over in I think Pakistan. They're playing it in theaters, the first 3 episodes and stuff, and I'm like, that's rad. But yeah, old Moon Knight, man.
I mean, it was like I said, without getting into too many spoilers, it was good for what it was, but it was
Yeah,
very confusing. And it was just one of those that kind of fell to the victim of all their shows do and just kind of wraps up really quickly at the end. And you're like, oh, okay.
I felt like that one was the worst out of all of them, though. As far as like, oh, we're just gonna wrap everything up. Like every week, you and I talked about it. We're just like, fuck, they got a lot of ground to cover. And then like the weeks kept going, and I'm just like, yo, they're gonna try to jam pack everything into this last episode. And even then, they said, no, We're just gonna do all this shit real quick and then not answer all this other shit. We're just gonna move on. It's like, well, that's just dumb. I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah, it had its moments of being good. It had its moments of being like, yeah,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah. I wanted to love it.
He
I
should have
wanted
got
to
the
love
old
it.
snap.
Yeah,
He should have got snip snapped.
yeah.
That's to me. That's they should have said that took place during the 5 years.
Oh yeah,
Then it would have made more sense.
yeah. But
Is what it is.
and then after that, I feel like they had another hit on their hands with Doctor Strange in the
Doctor
Multiverse of
Strange.
Madness.
Yeah, that very good movie. Yes, Sam Raimi killed it. I
Yeah, I
must
enjoyed it. I saw it in theaters way more times than I thought I was going to.
say.
It just happened. But I didn't mind. I didn't mind. I enjoyed it more every time I saw it.
I really fucked with it hard, man. I like the horror esque, type of vibes within it. I like the story. I like the dimensional jumps and shit like that. America Chavez was a pretty dope character.
Yeah,
Hyped to see her in the future.
for sure. For sure.
So
Just waiting patiently for that Young Avengers. Um,
they've got them pretty much all.
I think everybody's on the board except for Hulkling. I think he's the only one that hasn't shown up, but I wouldn't write him off yet. She-Hulk's right around the corner.
She-Hulk is right around the corner because they're pretty much all. The rest of them was there.
Yeah, because which leads us into the most recent thing. Unless you have more thoughts on Multiverse of Madness you want to throw out.
It was mad. It was madness. It was straight up madness, ladies and gentlemen.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Madness. Oh, yeah. This would be this one now. So then it brings us to recent. Miss Marvel is currently out. Shep and I have very differing opinions on the show. I'm loving it. You're not hating it necessarily.
No.
You're not crazy about it.
No, it's just like I said, it's just a lot more of the same old, same old. So, I hope it goes in a good direction. There's only one episode out. It's really hard to judge an entire show based on one episode. But like to me, I told like you were saying when you're like, man, it should have been a movie. Like I just feel like it might have a story that has just way too much fluff to catch my attention.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like genuinely, I mean, there's no way of knowing. Like you said, there's only the one episode right now. But if this show goes down the way I feel like it's going to go down, I feel like this is going to be one of the most substantial shows, like as far as the MCU shows goes, feeding into the movies. Like I feel like this one's going to be the like catalyst for a lot of shit to come. And I've listened to some people break it down and stuff. A lot of people think this and Quantum Mania are going to kind of lead into the Young Avengers. That be the stuff that kickstarts that and everything. So yeah, I mean, I'm hyped. I'm hyped to see where all this goes. I'm hyped to see all the Young Avengers come together finally. Now that they're all out there.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, they're all out there. They need to start coming together and popping into each other's shit. Yeah. That's the one thing. Like I said, with this, there's a lot of. I think that was one of my hates on Moon Knight was that it didn't even mention like the broader MCU.
Yeah.
Whereas this show, even the one episode, I'm like, can you rest
Tone
on the can you rest on the broader MCU for like 5 minutes besides Spider-Man, because obviously Sony won't let you put Spider-Man in this. So you can't mention Spider-Man not nowhere, but everybody else it's like get it.
I mean, that is kind of the whole thing with Miss Marvel, though. That's like her whole story.
It is
that she's a person in that universe. So, she is like us in the universe of real superheroes, like down to watching the YouTube videos and everything. I mean, and I think that's a cool like vantage point that we haven't really seen in the MCU yet, is like a person who's just like living through all this, who's like, damn, this shit's rad. Growing up with all these superheroes around.
I mean, yeah, to to a degree, I feel like it's kind of a rehash of Spider-Man kind of did the same thing now.
Well, I heard somebody describe Miss Marvel like in the comic books the other day, and I was like, you know what? I really fuck with that because he was basically saying he likes Kamala Khan because she's like the modern day Peter Parker. You know, it's like Peter Parker was made in the 1960s, and it's like people can still like to this day like really connect and relate with Peter Parker and everything he goes through. And but Kamala Khan is like the new age Peter Parker, where it's like she struggles with that trying to be a normal kid and also being a crime fighter and like this double life sort of thing. And she's got her family and all this shit and a lot of the same stuff that Peter goes through because Kamala eventually becomes a leader, you know, to a lot of characters
Right.
in the comics and stuff. And I thought that was a cool comparison when I heard that. I was like, yeah, I could see that. I can see where she's kind of like new age Peter Parker.
No, I mean I vibe with it too, but like to me, it's just one of those that's like we already got that going right now with Spider-Man and stuff. Like he just moved out of that high school phase into the college phase, and now we have to get another character right back into the high school phase. You know, is it like, well, when she gets out of that, are we going to get another person that's we got to get this? Oh wait, we have a Spider-Man high school phase coming. That's right.
Yeah, right.
Animated. So like I don't know. I like it. Like I said, I like it. It's good. It's very well shot. I like some of the editing they did within it and whatnot, especially like the text conversation or whatever. I was like, yeah, that's pretty fucking dope. But it was nothing that I was like, oh my God, I've never seen nothing like this. And it's like, it's just the same, just a new person, their story. Shit.
Well, you know, I'm a big Scott Pilgrim fan, and I feel like this is the closest. I've seen imitators in the past, but this is like
I've heard that.
Yeah, this is the closest I've seen somebody come to like accurately getting the Scott Pilgrim vibe that they did in that movie. Like a lot of people have tried, but this is like the closest I've seen it come since that movie.
I've heard that comparison.
But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see on Wednesday what happens next. I don't know. Did you stick around for the post credit?
I did. I mean, it's like, who are these jerk offs? I don't know who they are, and then it's done. So
you didn't know who they were?
No.
Oh, they're from Spider-Man: No Way Home. Department of Damage Control, son.
I didn't catch that in Spider-Man at all.
It's literally the entire opening of the movie. Like the dude that's arresting all of them and shit, and like questioning them all and everything. Same dude.
Oh. Yeah. Didn't catch that, bro. So my bad.
Yeah, same dude. So I was like, oh, interesting. So yeah. So I think we're all caught up. You know, Miss Marvel's going down right now. Thor is right around the corner. You know, I'd be hyped for Thor.
I'm really hyped for some Thor. That's gotta get me some more Chris Hemsworth in. And Taika
Waititi. He's everywhere these days.
He is.
He's everywhere. He's fucking everywhere.
But I fucking love him. So it's all good.
Yeah, so that's pretty much catching up on our thoughts on the Marvel stuff. So what do you want to hop over to next?
Let's talk some the boys.
Talk the boys.
You've only seen the first episode of season 3.
Yeah.
I'm all caught up. They're halfway through with the 4th episode coming out last week. I think they only do 8 season, so
yeah, I'll have to.
They jump into it very fast.
Which I mean, at this point, you'd imagine they would, you know, third season.
The thing I love about, like I was telling you before we came live with the boys, is they always just keep taking it up a notch. You're like, they do some of the crazy shit, and you're like, damn, like there ain't no way they can, like, especially, you know, they're on their 3rd season now, so it's like, how do you top these first 2 seasons, which were like fucking dope and masterpieces, and then it's just like out of nowhere, you just fucking have like just a step up. You're chosen. That too was my favorite Spider-Man scene. Uh, but no, and I don't know, man. Like I was telling somebody at my work, this isn't spoiler too much or nothing, but like, I'm a big fan of horror. I'm a big fan of this stuff, but like the one person like in media that's Homelander scares the shit out of me. The way that actor plays that
Yeah,
character is top fucking notch to me. Like he looks
yeah.
like he could snap
He's just
at
unhinged.
literally any
Yeah,
fucking moment, dude, for real. And I just love where they're at with all these guys. It's I was listening to this other podcast on it the other day because like nobody that I know is all caught up where I'm at on it. So I
mhm.
got like nobody to talk to about all this crazy shit. And so I was like listening to a podcast, and they seem to think like the director of the show, he directed Supernatural and originally, and he had like a story he wanted to tell, like 5 seasons is like his thing. It might become
For
like
what?
a sorry, I'm sure I glitched out there. Uh,
Yeah.
but this podcast, they think The Boys might be like a 5 season show.
Mhm.
So if that's the case, being here at just season or episode 4, season 3, it's like truly the
Yeah.
halfway point. If they only end
I'm
up going
excited
5 seasons,
to get caught up. That's definitely a comic series I've been wanting to check out ever since they announced the show. But
the comic series apparently is completely different than the show.
really,
Yeah, like Translucent isn't a character within the comics. Um, Starlight gets her assaulted not by just the Deep, but the Deep, A Train, and Homelander. Yeah, there's a lot of differences between
yeah.
the show and the comics.
You were saying earlier. I mean, I know you just said something about it possibly just being like a 5 season show, but beforehand when we were talking, you said something about how it like is always kind of pointing a mirror at us
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of like being satire of like how the world is and stuff. And you're like, man, how do they just keep one upping themselves, you know? And I feel like it's kind of like the South Park thing, you know? It's like South Park does that same thing of like, well, their source material is the world, you know? And it's like, it's always changing. There's always something new to talk about. And so that's how South Park just keeps doing it. You know, they keep making shit where you're like, God, how do they think of this stuff? It's like, well, they just watch the news. They just watch people and see what's going on in the world. And I feel like the boys kind of could do the same thing if they wanted to.
Oh
But
no, they
I
do.
think the boys are smart enough to know when to cut it too.
No, they do, and I like the little introspects at our society that they put within the show, and have you look at. But they're at a real, like I said, I'm really hyped for this week's episode. Like Friday cannot come soon enough, and that's not just like for some weekend talk. That's like I'm here for it, bro. Like it's bananas where they're at right now, and I'm hype. I'm hype.
Yeah, definitely got to catch up on it so we can talk a little more in depth about it at some
Yeah.
point.
Oh,
Um,
it's fantastic.
what else? What else has there been? Oh, bats.
The Batman had came out. We never talked about that, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have much to say. I don't have much to say. I don't know. I still need to rewatch it.
Really? I've
Yeah,
watched it a dozen times, I feel like.
really.
Yeah.
Happy. I just like I don't even feel really compelled to watch it. You know, I enjoyed it a lot the first time, but like I was just like feeling weird when we were seeing it in theaters anyway, so I couldn't really pay attention. I definitely need to give it its due and like actually give it a good solid watch. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I just don't feel any more passionate about that,
I just
you
feel
know, at
like
the
it was
moment.
finally, like when you go to see a Batman movie, you go to see a Batman movie. We don't go to
Yeah,
see 35 minutes of Batman and 40 minutes of Bruce Wayne. I really like how this show portrayed as Bruce Wayne as like I'm putting the costume on to go be Bruce Wayne, whereas the rest of it he's just fucking Batman.
yeah,
And he's still learning, he's still doing his thing. I do like that um the little subtle notices that people have watched and noticed, like how you know, like it's out, it's been out, so spoilers. But they said like at the beginning when he first walks up to the Penguin's Lounge, you can see the Riddler in the window.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, shit like that. Like how when he first goes to the lounge, he knocks on the door and tries to get in. And the second time when he comes back, like as Bruce Wayne or somebody, he is in the shadows going, and it's like you're seeing him learn as Batman and become the Batman that we know in these comics and shit. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it
yeah,
was a very different, a different take. It was a very a noir film, true crime through and through detective shit, and I loved it.
yeah. I definitely loved all that about it, but like I said, I just gotta give it another go round.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a long one, so I haven't taken the time to sit down
It's
and
a
watch it.
long one, but I'm excited to see where they go with it. I'm excited to see like I know they're doing like a Penguin spinoff, I think, for
Hmm.
HBO Max. I'm hyped for
Yeah,
that. To see the kind of shit they're gonna do in that. I think they said Clayface might be in it. So I'm hyped
that's
for that.
interesting. Interesting,
Yeah,
interesting.
very hyped for that. I
Um,
guess Peacemaker also came out and we didn't talk about that. That would have been in January.
yeah, true, true. That one was definitely one of the better DC entries as of late.
I fucking love that's one that I've
It
went
was
back and
fantastic.
watched again.
Yeah, I haven't rewatched it yet, but
Oh
I'd
yeah.
like to.
I love
Definitely
me
deserves it.
some
Probably the next time I watch Suicide Squad, I'll be like, oh, I'll watch Peacemaker.
I love me some Peacemaker. That was a really good show. John Cena straight up killed it. Like straight up. He did
Definitely.
really good. I feel like this is the wrestling fan talk and comparing, wrestlers that have switched over to acting. As
Yeah.
far as The Rock goes, I feel like The Rock is The Rock in all of his movies.
Right.
He's The Rock,
Yeah.
but he's these characters. John Cena actually felt like Peacemaker. He didn't feel like I was
Yeah.
watching John Cena. I felt like I was, watching Peacemaker.
Yeah.
So that I think is going to be harder than fucking Black Adam, but I'm still hyped for Black Adam.
I I want to be. I want to be. Well, it's one. I'll wait and see how it is. But for the exact reason you just said, I know I told you the other day. It's The Rock, man. It's just like it throws me. I like The Rock. I like watching movies with The Rock, like Jungle Cruise. That was some corny rock fun. I was there for that. It's like, yeah, he's this character, but really he's The Rock. And it's like, but if you're gonna play like a character like Black Adam or something, like I ain't even attached to Black Adam like that or anything. But like to watch The Rock and even in that trailer trying to be all hard, and it's like to buy The Rock as a bad guy and all that shit. I'm like, maybe if you had done this fucking years ago before he became more Dwayne Johnson than The Rock,
He
like,
won't be like a bad guy. He's going to be like your anti-hero Venom type character. You know it.
nah,
You know it as
I
well
don't
as
like
I
it.
know it.
I don't
I,
like
I
it.
I get some of the things in the trailer, like him slapping the airplane. Somebody said it's like them trying to show like Iron Man when he's flying, he avoided the airplanes, and here the
Yeah.
rocks just. Eh. But like my hype for that comes in the form of like the JSA's in it, so maybe
Mhm.
they're holding back and they'll surprise us, and we might see some Jay Garrick action, which would be nice.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And maybe that's going to be their way around our Ezra situation they've got going with the Flash, is to
Oof.
not. He's running from his problems. Not really. They're running from their problems. My bad. Let me give an apology there. But to not really write out like Barry Allen as a character, but just bring in different Flash. Use Jay Garrick. We got Wally West. You can bring in so many different Flashes without
Yeah,
really messing with the movie and having like recast or scrap or be like, what do we do?
it's
Let's just kill
a
him at
great
the
point.
end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard
you
a
could.
lot of people talk about what they're going to do, and I don't think I've yet to hear that pitch from anybody. It's like that seems like the best course of action because I hear everybody be like, "Oh, replace him with the other Barry Allen dude." I'm like, I don't want to watch that. If I wanted to watch that, I would have watched the CW show, and I didn't. So it's like
Well,
I'm sure it was fun.
if Warner Brothers really was like, yo, I want to replace this guy, they're like I said, their best course of action. I would assume there's a spot at the end where he's going to be running back to wherever he's at, and you're just going to need to refilm the end of that movie to have it be Wally West that comes out the end, and it's just somebody different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's easy.
And just move on. Like, oh shit, really reset the universe.
Yeah.
Or just say, you know what? Maybe Ezra will come out on top, and I don't know. I don't know.
Something tells me I doubt it. I highly doubt it. He's on the run right now. So
I'm still hyped for the
blur.
Flash movie. Been long time Flash fan since I was a kid. So I'm still hyped to see it. Got Keaton coming back. I'm here for it.
I feel that. Well, I think that's everything that's come out. I'm pretty sure since the last time we talked on superhero stuff like that.
Yeah.
What next? This is usually the part of the show where the crowd churns the old show for us, but not much of a crowd at the moment.
I feel like I had something to talk about earlier, but I forget.
Same. Oh, we were going to talk about like fandoms, I feel like, a little bit, and just how nuts all that gets these days.
Yeah. There's something else, but no, so we were going to talk about that because they do, man. Like, and like I said, before we came live and we were talking about that, like, you know, there's things I like, there's things I don't really like, but it's like, I don't know why people feel the need to go out of their way to go to where people are like enjoying that and shit on it, you know,
right.
Or like, you know, they're saying The Boys and Miss Marvel were getting review bombs. Because people aren't enjoying, you know, the points. They're saying it's woke. They're trying to be woke and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying come at me with that.
No, it's all that kind of stuff. I mean, these days it really does take some of the fun out of it. Even like, you know, for me, I'm a Star Wars guy, and just all this stupid shit with Obi-Wan right now, where everybody's being racist about the chick who's in the show, and it's like, why, you know, like, I don't understand, where's this coming from? Like, what does it matter if like a character is black or not, you know, some made up character? It doesn't make any sense to me.
No,
people are so,
like I said, there's plenty that I don't like, dude. You know, there's plenty of television content especially that I don't care for, but you're not like I can confidently come out here on the Chase and Shep channel and say, like, I don't like Survivor, you know what I'm saying? But you don't catch me on the Survivor forums being like, yo, fuck Survivor, piece of shit, this is fake, or some, you know what I'm saying? You don't catch me on there. You don't catch, you know, if somebody on Survivor was like, podcasting is stupid, you wouldn't see me, you know, going and down, you know, giving them 1 stars and shit because they offended me or some shit. Like, I don't give a fuck.
So I guess having differing opinions on Miss Marvel, it's like, I'm not, when you're like, I don't like it, I'm just like, yeah, well, it's just, you know, not your vibe, which is fine. You're like, I don't hate it. It's like, but it's not my vibe. And I'm not jumping down your throat like, well, that just means that you don't care about young brown females, is what that means for you, sir. Like, so obviously you're just full of hate.
Well, and that's like, yeah, and like, well, and I was telling you, that's like the comments I had seen. Yeah, I had seen those comments. Two great points were both on Reddit. Like I said, you know, somebody basically having the same opinion as me, saying it's just kind of the same content. They're kind of getting burnt out now that they're in phase 4, and they just didn't vibe with it. And somebody like quickly was like, it's because the main character is an underage teen that you can't sexualize. It's like, well, I mean, it's like, where'd that come from? It's like, that's not even the point. Like, no, people can just not like something. Or my favorite was like, somebody posted a meme today, which was like, and one of them, it's like the guy, like the meme, the top part said like, I had sex with some celebrity girl in a dream, and then like the bottom is Doctor Strange, and it's like, or no, it was the dude from Taken, and he's like, America Chavez, I'm coming for you, and all these people instantly were like, you know, that actress is underage, you're a pedo, you're a child molester, and all this stuff. And it's like, guys, the meme, like literally her character, like in Doctor Strange, like if you have a dream that's a reality somewhere, that's actually happening, and her character can get you into that reality. It's like that is what the meme is going for, not saying that they're looking
Right.
for an
Yeah.
underage kid. It's like, no, they need
Right.
her
Right.
to get him to that reality where he was having his fantasy with a celebrity.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
feel
man,
you.
people jump on the craziest shit these days, man, and the most negative shit, like right at something,
Yeah.
and that's
Right.
where
Right from the jump. Yeah.
I start
Well,
like
because
being like, eh.
you got those people who will be like, oh, well, you don't like this show because of X, Y, and Z. But then you have those people who genuinely don't like the show because of those things, like who
Mhm.
are just like racist, you know, just like who also do the review bombs and will just like go on and tear it apart. Like I've noticed anything on IMDb, like especially like in a big franchise like Marvel, anytime it's been like a more female centric or more racially diverse cast or something, the reviews are always like you just start seeing all these trash reviews all of a sudden, just all at once. Just people just hate, just nothing but hate, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well,
You know?
no, and it doesn't. Like I said, to me, it just like I said, I just didn't. It just didn't hit me. No, episode two
Yeah.
might, I might watch the next episode on Wednesday and be like, oh, this is my shit now. Okay, I see it. But like I
Yeah.
was sitting there like, it's great, phenomenal acting, like I said, great shots, kind of wonky CGI, but oh well, most of their television shows have had wonky CGI, so that's
Mhm.
something to hate on. It's overall great. It just wasn't my shtick. It was maybe, like I said, it was like, to me, it was like DC Stargirl.
Mhm.
Like Stargirl is
Yeah, yeah,
cool. I watched the first season. I stuck around, but in the second season, I was just like, eh. And they brought in some of my characters that I fuck with, like the Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern, and shit like that. Like they had them, but it's just they're aiming at a demographic that is not me at that moment, and it's
right.
like, it's I'll watch it. I'll get around to it at some point. Miss Marvel's kind of the same. It's like I'll watch it Wednesday, but if I forgot and I didn't, I wouldn't be like the rest of the shows, like, oh my god, or
Yeah.
if it's X-Men, like we were talking about earlier, when I was like, it should be X-Men. Which, side note, going back to the boys, I realized is my like the reason why I love the character Frenchie on the boys is because he reminds me of Gambit so much. Like as you go watching it, just every time you see him, just think, because he's like everybody's like mon chéri and stuff like that, like he's saying the same fucking things as Gambit,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I'm like, man, like he really does like strike me as like this is kind of Gambit-esque.
Right. Sorry, Channing Tatum. We found our new Gambit.
I'd fucking be there for it. I would. I love that man. I think he's a great asset on that TV show. I hope we get him. And I saw they were renewed for season 4 and shit like
Yeah.
that. That's why I say I hope he's around, because when they put up a picture, they're like, is this foretelling anything? And he was somebody not in their promotional picture for season 4. So a lot of people are like, like you better not.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can handle that. That might be my first character death that I actually have to stop a show for and be like, God damn it.
Take a breath.
Fucking shit. And there's been, The Boys is one of those filled with that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm ready for Invincible to come back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm ready for sure.
That is a
Yeah, I
really
don't.
solid animation show.
To jump back to what we were talking about, I mean, for me, I don't know. I wouldn't be as into everything if it was just a bunch of white people running around. Like for some people that's their thing, but for me, I feel like all of my favorite characters are more diverse characters, and that goes for a lot of media for me. Like because it's not my world. Like I know what a white dude does. Like I do that shit every day. Like, and even like if I don't do what that white dude does, I know white dudes and I know what they do. So I don't need to keep seeing these fucking stories over and over again. And so I am more drawn to characters of color or female characters and shit like that because it shows me an entirely different perspective on the world. And I love that shit. I'm more engaged as an audience member that way. Like I told you, I just read White Tiger and I fucked with it. Like I know there's a few different variations of White Tiger. The one I read was Angela Del Toro, who picks it up like from her uncle after he dies in Daredevil. And right now, I think the chick who's currently White Tiger is like a younger girl as well, like more Young Avengers level, and is like the niece of the one before. They keep it in the family as they do. But I was rocking with it. I loved it. I loved the like the Latin angle to it. I loved like the female angle to it. I loved all of it. And like I said, I love all those street level characters. And White Tiger was a character I didn't know a lot about, so that was cool as well. I've really been enjoying getting more into the comics uh, recently, and like I told
Yeah.
you before, I think I'm definitely going to start like snatching up when I see stuff and just building my physical collection of comics because they're very enjoyable.
No, comics are dope. They're fun to read and fun to like you were saying, to get other perspectives that you normally probably
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't get.
Yeah, and I feel like what comics give me that we get this like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but like with like other books and stuff that you don't really get is like with comics, you can read like Civil War. You can read Civil War. You can read the 7 issues of Civil War and know everything that goes down with all the main players. But then you can pick up a copy of like Heroes for Hire or some shit and
Yeah.
just get this whole perspective of like what's going on in Harlem while all of this is going down. And like you can just pick up all these different pieces of this world, which I think is so cool. You don't get that with other media, you know, where it's like this big story, but you can pick and choose where you want to jump around that in this story.
If you had to be in one universe, which one would you be in? Like wise?
Like comic book wise,
Sure,
or
or any of them. Like if you just had to go with one group, who would you go with?
one group.
Yeah,
I'd probably stay with my defenders.
the
I'd
Defenders.
stick. Yeah, I'd stick with them.
I'd be with the
That's
X
my.
Men. I feel like.
I feel like back in the day, I probably would have swayed X-Men. X-Men. It's been a while since X-Men has wooed me in that way. Honestly, the animated series, going back and watching that's definitely built my love back up. And I think getting into the comics, because for me, everything in the comics with the X-Men, like they haven't even fucking touched it in the movies yet. Personally,
Right.
like there's been some great X-Men movies, but I don't think they've done the X-Men as well as they could yet.
Oh no, no, no.
I think Marvel's got uh, something loaded up, locked and loaded with X-Men here. I think we're going to see a real cool shift in things because I actually think the dude I was listening to talk the other day, he was spitballing that he feels like Miss Marvel might be the way that paves that path to the mutants because in the comics they pass Kamala's law and or Kamala's law and it's after something happens to her and she goes into a coma and the government makes Kamala's law and starts going after like underage superheroes and stuff after the Young Avengers and all in the name of Kamala while she's fucking unconscious. She doesn't know any of this is going on,
Right.
and that's when like a lot of this hatred for masks is going around and all that stuff. So, dude was just kind of theorizing that it's eventually going to lead to all that. It's like it's just creating this powder keg for when the mutants do show up. Like he's like, this has been going on since Civil War. Like all these seeds that are being planted, and like Miss Marvel's going to be the one that's like, whoa, should these kids be like running around with these powers and stuff? And then just creating this powder cake for a world that when the mutants do show up, they're just like, fuck these mutants, the muties as they like to call them occasionally in the comics.
We'll see. I mean, hopefully we'll see sooner than later.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I really am. Because they definitely have such a rich history in the comics, I feel like. For sure. And I just feel like, it's just like you're peeking in on the lives of these people in this other world, pretty much. But yeah, to jump back to your question, yeah, the Defenders all day. Because I mean, I feel like it depends on who you consider the main Defenders, I suppose. I say when I'm saying Defenders, I guess I'm broadly thinking of like all these street level heroes that kick it. So that's your Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. I don't know much about Iron Fist. I just know he runs with everybody. White Tiger now. I fuck with White Tiger, Punisher. Spiderman likes to roll with those guys. It's like I'd rock it over there.
Over in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
That's much what's up. No, I'd like to roll with the X-Men. DC doesn't have really too many different ones. It's like you got the Justice League or the Legion of Doom. I'm sure they got more. They got the Outlaws.
I'd go to Legion of Doom just because it sounds cooler.
It definitely does. Sounds a lot cooler than the Justice League. Teen Titans, I guess, is one.
That could be fun.
I would probably fuck around in the Justice League Dark, though, with Constantine and Zatanna and Deadman and all them.
Yeah. That would be rad. I feel like we could really fit in as the Great Lakes Avengers.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of Midwest kids.
Saving like Squirrel Girl and some other people.
Yeah. I actually think Squirrel Girl bounced out of the Great Lakes Avengers because they're fools.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and Squirrel Girl's like, I've had enough of this shit. Y'all are morons. I just remember in Civil War, I'm pretty sure that's when Deadpool shows up at the Great Lakes Avengers and just starts slicing and dicing motherfucker. But then I think they hurt him real bad. They do something to him. They cut him in half or some stupid shit. And he's just like, you're right. He keeps telling him you're under arrest. Deadpool actually made an appearance in White Tiger, and I was not expecting it. It came out of nowhere, like near the end. Like she's in the middle of tailing this guy. She's got this like ability to camouflage herself. She's like on the hood of or the roof of the car, like following him somewhere, and she's gonna get her perp. And then she says something. And then it cuts to a panel of Deadpool, and he like says the same thing. And then he's like, I got two options. Like, I can do this or I can do this. And he's like, I'm just going to do this. And he jumps off the fucking roof and starts fucking saying all this shit to her. And then he's like, either way, like, you're wanted for larceny. And she's like, who do you think I am? It's like, you're Black Cat. She's like, I'm wearing a white suit. Like, what part of me do you think is a Black Cat? And so it was a very fun little moment with Deadpool showing up and just being Deadpool, just fucking up shit.
He fucks around over there. He messes around in Hell's Kitchen too.
I can't wait for him to show up in the MCU and just start fucking shit up. I love it. I can't wait to just watch him like interact with everybody because in that comic, what he does at the very end when he leaves, I'm like, if I was watching a movie in the MCU and some shit like this went down with Ryan Reynolds, like, I'd love it. It would be a scene that I feel like everybody would talk about, where it's like he literally just jumps in, fucks up what she's doing, is like, oh, my bad, you're not who I thought you were. They share some quips, and then he fucking literally just like jumps on the back of this RV that's going by and just rides off into the fucking, he just fucks off, and it's just like, if you just saw that in a movie, like Deadpool just randomly shows up in something and then just like hitches a ride and fucks off for the rest of the movie, like I would love that.
I think people were hoping for that in the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, people were hoping for a lot of things there, but no,
they're going to be doing the same with the Flash. They're going to be.
I'm fascinated by people's fascination with superheroes. You know, even my own. You know, where it's just like, what trips people's triggers for superheroes? Because I feel like it's different for everybody, really. You know, because like I know for me, it's always like, even from a young age when I was reading this stuff, it's like it inspired me to be a better person. You know, I was like, I want to be like this. I want to save the day. You know, I want to be a superhero sort of thing. Where it just kind of inspired me to be a better person, and it inspired hope in bleak times and shit like that. But also like teaches a lot of valuable life lessons and shit. But then like you got somebody like I had a homie who like he's big on the Hulk. Why is he big on the Hulk? Because he's fucking big and ripped and just smashes shit. And that's kind of who he was as a person. And it's just like fuck it, man. Like that's something for everybody.
I feel that. I mean, I can vibe with that. I always like, I like I said, I grew up reading DC.
What the
I
hell is
don't know
that?
what the hell that is. But so you have a lot of cop, I guess. You have a lot of when you're in the DC universe, a lot of gods. So that's why I always really like Batman, because Batman, you know, he was the
Yeah.
man, and he was among these gods, and he could whoop them if he needed to. That's
Mhm.
always the sort of shit I loved.
Yeah, I think that's why Batman always does the best of DC properties, is because he's just a dude,
Yeah,
you know?
I
And
could see
you get
that.
all these gods, and then it's like, I feel like people fuck with the Flash, but it's like he's a dude with superpowers. Like, he ain't a god or nothing like that, you know? And it's something that people can, like, get into. Maybe that's the thing with Eternals that turned a lot of people off. It's like, see, now you're losing me. Like, everybody's gods, but they ain't like Thor. You know, it's like they don't feel like people, they feel like gods, you know? It's like, so it's a little harder to relate.
Right, I vibe with that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how it is. Four minutes before we close the show, and then everybody's gonna start showing up.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably, most
You know how it
definitely.
goes. It definitely goes to show our experiment of changing the time on Twitch did nothing. So it's definitely just a time thing, not a us thing.
Probably.
But yeah,
Superheroes, bud.
yeah, man. I don't know. I just feel like lately I've just been steeping myself in it. Like every time I go to do something else, I'm doing something Marvel. I'm either playing Marvel Strike Force on my phone, or I'm fucking reading a comic book, or I'm watching a movie, or I'm watching a show, or playing the Avengers on the PlayStation 4. You
Yeah,
know, it's just I don't know. I just like the world, man. I could just bask in it all day.
it's fun to get lost in, for sure. I was watching Justice Society of America World War II the other day, yesterday or the day before. I
Cool.
forget which one.
One
Animated.
of these days.
It was pretty cool. Flash
Heck
goes
yeah.
back to World War II and has to help them. It's pretty good shit.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I know I don't, even though I'm over here on my Marvel hype train, like, there's some DC fandom in me as well. You know, I don't hate DC. You know, obviously I rock with Batman more than anything, but it's just like they haven't offered me the goods. You know, like all
Right.
the characters I fuck with the most, like I feel like I have not seen the version of that character that I want to see. Like, you know, like we got a cool Flash who's now not so cool anymore, but like I still want to see that movie just because, like, fuck, man, like, can I just get this Flash movie already? Like, why has this been so hard to just get a Flash movie? And we're finally
I
getting it,
hope
and there's all this bullshit around it. It's like,
all this
damn it,
bullshit. I hope it's
you
not
know.
like
But
that.
then, same with Green Lantern. It's like I've just been waiting for a good Green Lantern for a minute. Like, I love Green Lantern,
I did
and
hear. Well, they were finally writing the finale to Green Lantern or something, the TV show the other day.
I thought
So
I heard they scrapped it, but somebody said that they heard conflicting things on that. Somebody also heard that they were still going, I think. So I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm definitely cool with that shit.
I
But
could swear this was just in the past couple days.
yeah,
Check,
but
check with my sources. Oh man.
No, I think Green Lantern should have a good one. And personally, I know a lot of people fucked with Arrow on CW, but I want like a proper Green Arrow like movie and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't even think it'd be tainted for me by the show because I never watched the show like that. So I can't be like, oh, they already did this over there because I don't care. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. We can do better than the CW. You know,
Yeah, they can do much better than the CW. Yes, I would hope so too.
they're trying. They're trying. All the shakeups over there with
And 3 days
the
ago,
remake.
so I know we're
Yeah.
all tired of waiting for updates, but in this podcast, after avoiding the question for a good minute, Mark Guggenheim reveals they're currently working on an outline for the season finale of Green Lantern.
Well,
And it was just 3 days ago.
that's what's up. I'd also just like to throw out that the offer still stands to Sony if they want us to step in and fix things up for them. We can be their Feige's if they need us to. We
Take
can do
over
this.
well at this point I apparently Warner Brothers Discovery is also looking for their Kevin Feige to answer on the DC side and holler at your
Yeah.
boy. I got you.
Yeah.
I will get you there.
Something we didn't talk about. Did you see this stuff about the Joker sequel?
I was just seeing that they're saying Lady Gaga is who they're saying is going to play the female lead in this sequel.
Oh, interesting. I didn't hear that, but I'm fine with that. I actually love Lady Gaga as an actress, so I'm with that entirely.
So it's interesting to see. Yeah, I did see they were doing it, but I don't know.
I knew they were going to. I know they were trying to play all tough when they made it and be like, "No, this is a one and done." I'm like, yeah. Maybe you didn't see the DC logo at the beginning of your movie. You're gonna do.
Well, the guy even said that did it. He said he really wanted to do a Lex Luthor movie, and it's like, do a sequel.
Do a sequel.
Nobody wants
Nobody
Lex
gives a
Luthor
fuck about
movie.
that guy.
No.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about that guy. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's like I don't want a Lex
that'll be
Luthor
cool.
one.
Well, I guess we should do our mellow out moment and hit the dusty trail.
Let's do it. Mellow out moment. I still say, let me get my brands up here real quick so I can put some flavor to it. You know what? Mellow out, man. Mellow out on review bomb and shit. That's what I have. That's mine. That's mine for the day.
Definitely.
You'll need to mellow out on that.
I think the other fans and stuff, just all you racists and stuff, just mellow out, dude.
Mellow out, dude. It's not all about you.
With the racism and shit, it's just like it's unnecessary. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
There's some NASCAR somewhere on.
Right. There's some NASCAR. There's some fishing to be had. So fucking get on.
Get on, bud.
Now we're no better with the stereotypes. But
oh well.
That's your
know what?
That's your mellow out moment brought to you by Mellow Yellow, unofficially.
Unofficially sponsored by Mellow Yellow and Team Sean for Life.
Team Sean for Life. That's right. In the last little bit.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts for the day, bud?
Closing thoughts for the day. Not a lot of mental health to be talked about today, but that's fine. We were just kicking it. We're just chilling today. Superheroes, man. Can't get enough of them. I just love them. Sometimes I wish I didn't so much, but then I think to myself, why? Because people tell me not to be? Because grown-ups? Fuck that. There's some very successful grown-ups who do just this, live in this little fantasy world. And it's a good time.
Very good time. Very good time. If you've stayed with us, thank you, and listened to us ramble on about the shows and the movies we've watched this past couple months. A lot of content coming out the rest of the summer, superhero-wise and Jason Shep-wise. So stick around. As you can see, hit the website up, find some merch, find some news, find some music, and past shows.
All that.
All that
All that.
good stuff. All that good stuff.
With
On
that,
Chase and Shep.
I say,
Chase and Shep's
we do
Mellow Monday.
boom. Spin that shit.
We need to make one of those like songs that's like just another Mellow Monday. Smooches and deuces, lates.